definitely.
So,
Students have
so
asked the
you will
question.
guide, yeah, you will guide the meeting. I will just deliver my lecture, and
Yes.
that's it. It's a pleasure. Okay,
Yeah.
we can start. Yeah.
They can post a question even to the chat box, or even they can unmute and they can post a question
Yeah,
directly to me.
so I hope that someone else will just pick up the question and say it loud, and I will just reply, because probably I will
I'll
not be
take care
able,
of that.
yeah, or I will not be able to manage
Yeah.
the chat box, replying and talking. Yeah.
Mhm. Correct.
Yes, so we are streaming live on YouTube now. We can
Right.
start.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Mahika, beta, over to you.
Okay, ma'am. Good management is the art of making problems so interesting and their solutions so constructive that everyone wants to work and deal with them. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I, Mahika Sapalok, on behalf of Prestige Institute of Management, Gwalior, welcome you all to Touristic Tuesday, a webinar series organized by Department of Management, PIMG. I would like to extend a very warm and gracious welcome to our notable speaker, Dr. Vanessa G.B. Gauri Shankar, Dr. Rahul Pratap Singh Kaurav Sir, Program Chair, faculty members, distinguished guests, and all the students to this webinar. This series of webinar, Touristic Tuesday, is inspired by our BTM course started by Prestige Institute of Management in the year 2017. And this program helps its affiliated students to have the best understanding of tourism industry. We also emphasize on providing students with a profound knowledge of this industry. We are about to begin with our webinar. So if anyone has any questions during the webinar, just write them up in the chat box. We will have a question answer session at the end to answer all your queries. Before we start, let me give you a very brief introduction about our institution. Prestige Institute of Management, a UGC NAC accredited A grade and an autonomous institute, was set up in the year 1997 by Prestige Education Society Indore, registered under the Societies Registration Act 1860. The society was set up by Prestige Group of Industries with an objective to meet the widely felt need for globally oriented management and information technology education and training for professionals. Our course, Bachelor of Tourism Management, is a Government of Madhya Pradesh Higher Education Department approved undergraduate degree course in sectorial management, and its duration is 3 years, that is 6 semesters. The program is affiliated to Jivaji University, Gwalior, and the degrees on completion of program are awarded by NAC A accredited Jivaji University, Gwalior. The main objective of BTM program is to prepare students for executive level responsibilities in tourism industries, in addition to making them ready for the public sector units, administrative positions, and CDS. One's destination is never a place, but a new way of seeing things. With this, now I would take the privilege to invite Dr. Rahul Pratap Singh Kaurav sir for the welcome address. Please, sir.
Thank you, Maika. On behalf of Prestige Institute of Management, I would like to welcome my friend Vanessa, all the participants, everyone who is here, everyone who is attending this using Zoom meeting link, everyone who is attending this YouTube live session, everyone, those who will be watching it even later. I would like to welcome everyone to this platform of Touristic Tuesday. A few days before, one participant has posted a query on my personal window of WhatsApp. Sir, why it is Touristic Tuesday? Why not it is Touristic Wednesday? Why not it is other day? Why you have chose Tuesday? Like, though every one of us know we have 7 days in a week, but I have got a point here why I have selected Tuesday to be to make it to transform it from Tuesday, right? If you all can recall, the oldest business tourism related establishment was Thomas Cook, and they have established your business. The date was 22nd November 1808, and this was the Tuesday. That is why on the day of when the oldest business which is related to tourism has established their business on tourism on Tuesday, that is why I have opted it as a touristic Tuesday. So with this note, all of us can easily understand what is the scenario of tourism management in present situation, and all of us are eager to understand what will happen this post-pandemic. So without taking much of your time, I would directly hand over the further session to Mahika, so that she can introduce our expert speaker. And we are very eager to learn. We are very eager to learn the thoughts, your thoughts, Dr. Vanessa, and we'll be learning together this session. This will be an interactive session for all of us. Thank you very much, all of you, to join this session.
Thank you so much, sir. The use of traveling is to regulate imagination by reality, and instead of thinking how things may be, to see them as they are. I would now like to call upon Assistant Professor Simran Rohira ma'am to give a brief introduction about the resource person of the webinar. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, Mahika. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am,
Yes.
you are.
All right, great. Good afternoon, everyone. With a great sense of pride, I take this opportunity to introduce our resource person of the webinar to the gathering, Dr. Vanessa Gayatri Gaurishankar. Dr. Vanessa is a citizen of Mauritius, working in Nigeria and researching in India. She holds a PhD which cuts across 3 disciplines, namely tourism management, communication, and marketing. With over a decade of experience in teaching, training, and research, Dr. Vanessa has brought her contributions in various international universities. She currently serves as a head of department for hospitality and tourism at the University of Africa, and very soon she will be joining a new position in India. She is an editorial board member of several scientific journals and has a number of publications in Scopus indexed journals. She serves as National Coordinator for the Women Advancement for Economic and Leadership Empowerment, an international organization which caters for the cause of women, widows, and young girls. She assumes the role of Deputy Chair for the Tourism, Infrastructure, and Energy Cluster for African Union Economic and Social Council, ECOSOCC. Dr. Vanessa has conferred various awards for her contribution in research and women empowerment in India and Africa. The latest one being the Emerald Literati Award in November 2020 for her role as an outstanding reviewer for research papers published in the International Journal for Tourism Cities. It feels privileged to have you with us, ma'am. Without delaying further, I would request Vanessa, ma'am, to please take over the session. Please, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon, Dr. Rahul, Mahika. I don't know your other name, I've forgotten. The Indian name is, Simran. Yeah, I'm sorry. So I would like to say thank you to all of you for coordinating this beautiful session, which has started just now. And I'm very happy to know a bit more about Prestige Institute of Management, which is found in Gwalior. And Gwalior is a place which I have visited a few years ago, and I was really impressed by the beauty of the place. And I'm sure that the people, I cannot see them, the students, they must also be a very beautiful audience listening to me. It's a pleasure to be with you today, and I will try to share my experience. Rather, we will not be like, in the classroom, boring, talking about theories, about concepts, about whatever. We will talk about concepts, of course, but we will talk it in a different way. And we are going to use lots of stories. We are going to use lots of pictures to share with you. I'm very excited to share pictures with my students always, because this helps them to remember things easily, and we capture visuals better than words. So today I am expected to talk about tourism management post-pandemic, and we will try to have a general perspective of it. And if ever you have any question, of course, you're going to type it on your box there, and they will transfer it to me, and I will try to answer. I want to share a screen with you. We are going to start. It's a PowerPoint presentation, but we are going to talk about many other things. Let me share. How do we share that? Yeah, I can see it. Where is my screen? It's here. So you're going to confirm to me if you can see the screen.
Yes, it is visible.
Yes, ma'am, we can see it now.
It is. Yeah, it is visible. So this is just like, it's the movie starting, and this is just like we see the cover, then the introduction. It's about today. So I will introduce myself very briefly. I've already been introduced anyway. This thing is not moving. Yeah, it's moving. So I always say to proudly to everybody that tourism is my profession, travel is my passion, which is really true. You will not realize how much I am missing travel. My God, travel is something which is, when I'm traveling, it's not only about traveling, I'm also collecting data. Some people have been laughing at me. What is she talking about collecting data? It is true, because as a researcher, when you're traveling, you enjoy the travel, but side by side, there is something that you're doing unconsciously. As a researcher, you're also collecting data. You're going to keep the data, record the data in your mind, and one day when you're going to write an article, I'm sure that you will use that data which has been recorded in your mind. You will remember it, of course, and then you will write down your input. This is where we ask students, please, when you're writing your dissertation, you should bring your input. What is your input? Your input is the data that you have been collecting when you're traveling, when you're meeting a travel agent, when you're meeting the tourist. So this is what I do. Tourism is my passion, a profession, and travel is my passion. Tourism is also my passion anyway. So I am from the University of Africa, which is found in Nigeria. I'm the head of department. Well, I have been appointed as associate professor. Very soon I will be joining India. Previously, I was working at various universities in Mauritius, in India, in UK, in Africa, you name it. And also from a non-academic perspective, I am also serving some different positions. For example, I have been serving as president for an regional organization called ANPRAS. You can just type, you will understand what is ANPRAS. ANPRAS is affiliated with the African Union, and I'm also an advisor and a consultant. And presently, I am occupying the position of vice president for the tourism infrastructure and energy cluster at the African Union. So which means that I have been exposed to many situations.
Vanessa ma'am, you are mute. Can you please unmute yourself? We are not able to hear you in between.
So
Yes.
whatever I talk since the beginning, you did not hear anything?
In the middle, you lost the connection. You are audible just for a while. In the beginning,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, because I'm worried, because otherwise there will be no flow. So yes, I was talking about myself. This is where I am presently. I am a citizen of Mauritius. The island of Mauritius is found here, where there is the red dot, very far from you. And Mauritius is very small. We have only 1.3 million people. That is why I was saying at the beginning to Dr. Rahul, if COVID-19 will start spreading in our country, probably the Mauritian citizen will disappear very soon, in 1 or 2 months, because we are a small population as compared to India. So we are going to move further. Yes, because we are going to talk about tourism management post-pandemic. Let's start from the start. We are going to explain what is tourism. We all know about tourism. Tourism is explained differently here, but we know that with the United Nations World Tourism Organization, people from there, they explain that tourism is a social, cultural, and economic phenomenon which entails the movement of people to countries or places outside their usual environment for personal, business, or professional purposes. We all know about this old story. If you're a tourism student, you will know that since the beginning, it's like the ABCD of tourism. But here we are going to explain tourism differently. So what I want to say that at this stage, when we have grown up a bit in the context of tourism, we would say that tourism is a triangular transaction, which means that there is a combination, there is a transaction going on between the tourists, between the service providers, and between, well, it's written history. I should have removed history. I should have written something else, which would mean that when I talk about history, it's not only about history, it's also about culture, it's also about heritage, it's also about all those people who are working in this section, in this sector. So when we talk about tourism being explained different, it means that it's a triangular transaction. There are three important stakeholders that are involved to be able to deliver the tourism product. I'm sure that you know about the 4 A's of tourism: attraction, accommodation, amenities, and accessibility. It's just like refreshing your mind. We're not going to like, go prolong too much on that. you know about attraction, you know about accommodation, you know what are the amenities that are required for tourism, and you also know that to be able to indulge in tourism, we need to travel, domestic or international. So these are the pillars for tourism. To be able to conduct a tourism business successfully, these are the 4 elements, and it's mandatory. Let's talk a bit about the realities of tourism. I'm sure that you again know about it. The realities of tourism, let's say for example in India, we are heavily dependent on our nature and culture. People when they travel to India, they are interested to see the culture. They're interested to know about what you're eating. They're interested to know how you're praying. They're interested to know what type of clothes you're wearing, what type of festival you're celebrating. So this is about your culture. And also we are interested to see the nature as well. For example, if I come to Gwalior, I'm interested to visit the palace. I'm interested to visit the fort. So this is about your history. You understand? So it's important. It's natural because it's not it's the natural environment. I want to say we have got a zoo as well. We have got so many other natural resources of tourism in India. So we also know that tourism is a victim of world phenomenon, which means that many times we have issues regarding climate change, terrorism, infection, disease. Now we have the COVID-19 pandemic. Who doesn't know about this now? So assets are renewable, but also destructible. We are talking about tourism resources here, and we all know that there is lots of exploitation of tourism resources. That is why we talked about over tourism last year. If you will go on my profile on Google, you just type my name, you will see all the papers that I've been writing. If in case you want to read those papers, you just mail me. I will give you, because you will not have access to those papers. They are already being sold by the journal. And you would see that I have written a lot on over tourism. Yes, over tourism, because we were complaining. Too many people are coming to Venice. Too many people are going to the Kumbh Mela. Too many people are going to Haridwar. Too many people are visiting this place and that place. So we were complaining and coming. Today, what has happened? There is no one. So suddenly, from over tourism to no tourism, we don't have people anymore anywhere. And this is a real issue now. And also, as we are talking about the realities of tourism, not all stakeholders have inclination for SDGs. You know what is SDGs? Sustainable Development Goals. We have got 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and the whole world, whenever they do something, whenever they conduct tourism business or whichever business they are conducting, they have to follow the SDGs. It's a world rule, you know. And when we talk about the 17 SDGs, it's about climate, it's about protecting tourism resources. When I'm talking about tourism resources, I'm talking about culture, nature. It's about protecting life on earth. It's about protecting life in the sea. It's about so many things. You just go and navigate, you will see that there are 17 SDGs. So what I want to say here for the tourism businesses, not all the tourism people, I mean the people who are conducting tourism businesses, they are interested to follow those SDGs. Let me give you an example. I published a paper in 2005. Oh my God, I've forgotten. In 2006. And I think 2006, we have to check it. So many papers I've been publishing. So it's a dolphin washing, And when I presented the paper in France, I got the best paper award. So dolphin washing, it's about you're watching the dolphin, and you as a tourism operator, because the dolphin, they come to our lagoon in Mauritius, it's free. You're not going to pay the dolphin, please come to my lagoon, please come here, please come there. No, they are coming very naturally. So there is a group of dolphins who used to come at Tamarin Bay. It's a place in Mauritius. And you know that Mauritius is surrounded by the sea. And Mauritius is very famous for the sea sun and sun. When you come to Mauritius, this is the first thing that you would see, our sea. So the dolphins, they were swimming, they were coming to Mauritius. And people who were staying there, what they were doing, they were taking tourists on their small boat to say, listen, you pay me some money, I will show you dolphin in the morning. So they were taking big money from tourists. And once, twice, 3, 4 times a day, they would go and watch the dolphin. And the dolphin, you know what they were doing? They were swimming all the way from the big ocean. They were coming here because our water is very warm, and they enjoy that water. They wanted to stay for a longer period of time, like a half day. People, what they are doing here, the tourism operators, they are just getting all the tourists there, one after the other, 1 boat, 2 boat, 3 boat. At the end of the day, what has happened? All those dolphins, they have just left Mauritius and they have gone to some other places. Today we have no dolphin. Shame on us. Unfortunately, we were boasting about our dolphin. Please come to Mauritius. Please come to Tamarin Bay. You will see dolphin in the morning. So today we don't have any dolphin. They are here probably, but it's not the same thing as it was before. So what has happened? These people, they were quite greedy. They were interested to have lots of money. So 10 tourists is equal to 10 tourists is equal to 10 entry fees, 10 different type of fees that you're going to charge to them to see the dolphin. Now, if you take 2 or 3 boats, 2 or 3 times, what will happen? You will go 2, 3 times, so you will get money. So they were interested to have the money. They did not think about the future. So the future, what has happened? That's why we talk about sustainable development goal. Whatever we are doing, we have to make it sustainable. For example, in Gwalior, you have your, let's say, a tourism attraction that you're having. Let's say we are having the fort there. It's an old thing. I know, I've been there. If so suddenly your government people want to destroy that and want to put a shopping mall there, so your history is finished. You know what happened. So when people are visiting the history, they're enjoying it. You would say that, please come, continue visit, continue the visit, continue. And you would see that there's a kind of depletion going on. The walls are being broken. There are some other things that are happening. It has become a hazard because people are visiting too much. There is over visitation. So at the end of the day, you will have to close that thing. So it's bad. So you have to control your visitors. Probably you can have only, let's say, only 200 visitors per day. So you do not go beyond that because it's a place which is free. But I'm sure that the fort is not free, of course. You have a control over there. It's not like in Mauritius, it was, we don't have fort anyway. I'm talking about that dolphin thing. So let's move further. The question that we have when we talk about realities of tourism, people, they think about how to maximize profit, how to maximize benefit, how to enjoy profit. But it's also very important how to be resourceful, because what's the point of selling tourism when people, they come, they want to visit the place, and you see that the place is no longer there, the dolphins are no longer there. So I'm not interested anymore. What I'm going to visit, probably some other thing. So that is why it's very important to be resourceful. But at the same time, we understand that when people, they are investing, they want to enjoy a profit and they want to maximize benefit. So we have a standard. We don't have a standard formula. We cannot say that one size fits all. I cannot say that I am a big tourism professor. I have lots of knowledge. I am perfect. I know all the solution to all problems. And I just give you the formula. Do this, do that. No, it's not going to work. Mauritius is different. India is different. Europe is different. Africa is different. So whatever formula you come, it has to be of adaptive nature, which means that you have to explore the place, try to see, do a market research, then you would understand what are the things that you're supposed to do. Anyway, we'll come on that very soon. Let's continue. So tourism management issues in the 21st century, we are still on tourism management. We are not thinking about COVID for now. Very soon we'll start talking about COVID. So when we talk about tourism management issues, we have already talked about it. We are always complaining about limited and scarce tourism resources, which is true. That is why we talk about the SDGs. We also talk about competition and competitive resources and competing resources rather, which means that sometimes as an island, when you're selling something, you have got another island also selling the same thing. For example, from India, let's say you get married, you're getting married and you're planning a honeymoon. Mauritius is very famous for honeymoon. You will have a choice. You will think about Maldives, you will think about Seychelles, you will think about Bali, you will think about Mauritius. But of course, you have to come to Mauritius because I am from Mauritius. So what I want to say is that there is competing resources, which means that there are so many destinations selling the same thing. But of course, the sea is not the same. When you come to Mauritius, it's different. When you come, we can say that it's competing resources. We can talk from a generic perspective, sea, sun, and sand. But when you come to those places, to go to those places, different places, it's not the same thing. By my own experience, because I've been to Greece, there's an island called Crete. I was invited there, and they are also selling sea, sun, and sand. But unfortunately, their sea is not the same that we have in Mauritius. The sea is dark blue, it's cold, whereas here our water is very warm. So they are also selling sea, sun, and sand. We are also selling season and sand, but it's not the same thing. We also talk, when we talk about tourism management issues, we have to think about the host community as well. We have to think about climate change and global warming. We already talked about it. It's a problem. Because we cannot control the climate, we cannot control global warming. We can, for example, try to prevent it. We can, for example, try to uh, take preventive measures and collaborate with authorities, but we cannot really control it. We also have issues like terrorism when we talk about tourism management issues, collaboration difficulties. I talk about you that not all, I talk about it to you because not all tourism operators, they are interested to collaborate. Some people, they are interested for profit. Others, they are very genuine. They would say, no, I have to think for the future. And there's conflicts, lots of conflicts between tourism stakeholders. Lack of skills and training. Also, many times you would see people, they don't have training. Because they don't have training, that is why they continue to carry tourists to the dolphin place. If they had a good training, they would have realized that we prefer to have little money for a long period of time than to have big money for only 1 week, and then after that it's finished. The story is, the game is over, and this is what has happened almost. Technology and globalization is also an issue. Why I'm saying that, it's not an issue as such, but it will be an issue, especially in countries who are not able to make use of technology, because as you're aware now, all the tour operators and the travel agent and DMOs, destination management organization, what they do, they are using technology. They are putting everything online now. If you, as a country, you have internet problem connected, for example, in Africa, there are so many African countries. For example, in Nigeria, where I was staying, I was not staying in a city, I was staying in a village called Toru Orua. I had to buy a package every time to be able to access the internet. So this is a nice place. I will show you in a while the place where I was staying. It's a very nice place, a very touristic place, but unfortunately, you're not able to sell it because online. Because what happens, you can sell it online, yeah, you can sell it online, people can see it, but if you are from that place, you will have lots of difficulties to be able to sell things that are coming up. For example, you have seen something new, you want to put it on the website, so it's a long process because of connectivity issue. So technology is very important to be able to connect with the world, to be able to connect with other travel agents, to operators. You can make a pool of resources and go online and say that if you want to nature tourism, you can come to that place. If you want season and sand, you can go to another place. Clustering, we call that. So to be able to do a clustering, you need to have technology. You need to have access to the internet. Marketing and promotion goes along together with technology. It's very important. As we are talking about tourism management issues, so now, as I was saying earlier, now it's COVID-19. We are already having so many issues with tourism management. Now, as if we don't have anything. Here you see COVID-19, which has entered our world since 2019 December, and it's really pathetic for the tourism industry, and we are still surviving. I don't know what will happen, but I know that many people have lost their job, and wow, I don't know what to say. It's a terrible tragedy. So stakeholders involvement, who is responsible for what and how. So definitely when we talk about tourism management, government, tourism association, public-private sectors, informal sectors, locals, MSMEs is medium and small enterprises. I'm sure you know about it. International and regional organizations like World Tourism Organization, WTTC, Asia Pacific Tourism Association, Pacific Asia Travel Association. So these are the organizations, international and regional. It's a very important, for example, if you're a tourism destination, you're the authority, it's very important to connect to those organizations, because those organizations will help you to come out of your crisis. If you could remember that at the very beginning in 2019, January, February, I was in Nigeria at that time. And I was living that, that COVID thing. In Nigeria, we didn't have it really, but I was there. I was in that staff quarter in the village there. I had my package, so I was in touch with the world. I was seeing what was happening. So many things in India. I could see that. For example, you had lockdown. everywhere. In fact, in many places we had lockdown. You had lockdown, you were not able to operate as a tourism operator, so your business was stopped. They closed the airport. So there were so many things that happened, and so many sectors have really suffered. But at that time, which were the organizations who were giving hope? It was the World Tourism Organization. It was the World Health Organization. So we had to follow them. So that is why it's always very important to be affiliated and to be connected with international organizations, because international organizations, they give you a leeway. If you have a problem, it's not your own problem, it's a collective problem. And it's always good to be together. You know, when you're together, you're able to face the problem. When you're all alone, operating in isolation, it's a bit difficult. And I am sure that not only India, but many tourism destinations, they really benefited from the guidelines issued on the website of the World Tourism Organization. And again, as I'm saying, website means that you need to have connection. Now, if you're a country, you have difficulty in connectivity, how you're going to go online to see what the World Tourism Organization is saying? Or probably World Health Organization, they have some guidelines. They want you to register. They want you to write down your issues so that they can send people to help. So that's why I say connection, connectivity, technology, very important. In the 21st century, we cannot imagine life without technology. Once upon a time, we were talking about the basic necessities of life: food, clothing, shelter. Today, the basic necessity in the 21st century: food, clothing, shelter, laptop, internet. I cannot live without internet. I am telling you frankly, I cannot live without internet. I need to be connected always, because there are so many things. And you know, with connection, with probably with experience and with time, you have got so many, lots of work, lots of things going on. So if one day you're cut off, the next day people start looking for you. What has happened? Is there a problem? Deadlines and deadlines. So this is, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. You don't have a breathing space sometimes. But it's like this. Unfortunately, it's like this. Fortunately, I don't know what to say, but I cannot live without the internet. And I'm sure that many of you, you would say the same thing. It's very important. It's something absolutely very important to be connected. So areas of collaboration, as I was saying, united we stand, divided we fall. It's true, I just talked about it. So how we are going to come out of that problem, of that tragedy? So you need to learn lesson from successful tourism destinations. This, we are talking about the story of the period when we didn't have COVID. This is something generic, right? So you have, we talked about capitalizing on USP. For example, in India, you have culture, you have got the Golden Triangle, you have got Delhi, you have got Agra, you have got Jaipur, you have got Gwalior, you have got Haridwar, you have got Rishikesh, you have got Goa, you have got Karnataka, you have got so many places in India. So this is your USP, your unique selling points. And I'm sure that I always like to, you know, praise India about it. You see, they say, see the world in India. You have everything in India. And I'm very excited about India, you know, because it's about the shopping, it's about the food, it's about the culture, it's about the heritage, it's about, oh my God, so many things. You're so rich, but you should know how to sustain it and how to put a value on that, and how to, how do you say, you should always, you know, value it. Whatever you have to value it. Many times I have seen the Indian student, the Indian people, when they are there, they would say that, oh my God, we want to leave India, I want to go to another place. It's true, you can go to another place for an experience, but your country is a lovely country. It's really a lovely country. There's everything there. So we were talking about capitalizing on USP, and then diversification from traditional tourism. We already always talked about it. For example, in Mauritius, what they were saying, if we want to survive, we want to have more tourists, we have to diversify from traditional tourism. This is the mantra. This is the poem that they keep, you know, the song that they keep singing in all the meetings. We have to diversify. We have to diversify. Okay, we are going to diversify from season and sun. We will try to offer new things. Fine, good. We'll try to see how we can offer some other package. Like, for example, we can focus on food. We can focus on MICE, meeting incentives, conferences, and businesses, which is happening. We can focus on Bollywood, the tourism industry, the Bollywood industry. They have also joined tourism also. And they are also, there's something called Bollywood tourism. And also when we're talking about film industry, There are so many stars, they come to Mauritius for the shooting of their film, and in the process they're also indulging in tourism. This is also part of tourism. We were talking about all these things earlier, but now it's pandemic tourism. I'm telling you frankly, I call that pandemic tourism. Why? Because if you want to travel now, you have to wear your mask, you have to wear your gloves, you have to wear the big shield, you have to cover yourself, you have to use your sanitizer, you have to get vaccinated. This is pandemic tourism. And then still you're going to enjoy the tourism with some conditions, because now, fortunately, there are many countries that are opening up little by little. And in Mauritius, we are opening as from the 15th of July. In India, I don't know when. Probably you will also be opening very soon, little by little. And other countries, they have started opening with those conditions. So it's like pandemic tourism, you know. So you will enjoy the thing, but you will have to be accompanied with all these things, sanitizer, mask, whatever. Okay, so I was talking about technology transfer, marketing intelligence. This is really very important. I'm talking about areas of collaboration, how we can collaborate to be able to come out of our usual tourism management problem. I'm not really talking about the pandemic for now. We are talking about the usual. Training and education was always important. Now it's even more important. And I told you earlier, I shared with you that affiliation with international key tourism organizations is very important. Regional Tourism Corporation, alignment with the SDGs. You can see here SDGs. It's very important. Only then you will have that mentality of, you know, forward looking. Otherwise, whatever you will have, you'll just use all of them, just like the dolphin people did. You will deplete all your resources, and what will happen? Then afterwards, after some period of time, you will see, oh my God, I don't have anything. What I'm going to show to the tourists now. Okay, let's move. I hope that you're not getting bored. Let me show you something. In case if you're really getting bored, this is nature tourism in Nigeria. This is where I was staying. A bit like, you know, these are my people. Can you see those three men there? So it's a dangerous place, you know. You should not fall down in the lake, otherwise you will disappear, because it's like, you know, it's muddy, but it's very beautiful. It's really very beautiful. It's very close to the university, and I think we have got lots of snakes there, big snakes in Nigeria. This is Zambia, but Zambia is not in Nigeria, of course. It's another country. This is Lake Tanganyika, and it's, you know, I'm sure that in India also it's almost the same thing. The lake in Africa, if you're going to see a lake, you will be shocked. You will think that probably it's the sea. The shore is here. You will not be able to see the other side. It's so big. You understand? I think in Varanasi, how do we say that? I don't know. In Varanasi, there is a situation like this where when you're going to stand from one side, you will not be able to see the lake from the other side, the Ganges, I think, to the other side. So it's big, but it's not that big. Africa, it's much bigger. So these are the things that you would see in Africa. And here it's yeah, this is Tororwa. This is the lake where I was very. Can you see that? This was my place where I was staying. It was a nice place, but very, how do we say that? Very natural and lack of so many facilities. This is, I'm sure that you know about it, is Burma, and this is the Great Wall of China. So just to make you think, to go back a bit, to think about our tourism resources that we have had in the past. We still have it, of course, but the situation has changed now, you know. So we have so many things around the world to visit. This is Mauritius. This is the place, as you can see, you know, those pictures from Mauritius, I've taken them personally. So this is the way to my house. When you come to my house, you will have to go through the way. So Mauritius is really very beautiful. This is the sea, sun and sand. You see, this is a bit like 15 minutes away from my house. This is, I was doing a pose, as you can see here. So I'm very fond of pictures. So this gives you an indication of how happy we were without the COVID-19. And we were boosting, we have this, we have that. And you see that thing, you have money, you just book your ticket and just you go and visit those places you come. But today's situation has changed. And also regarding India, I'm talking about online marketing here. Have a look. If you go to all those online websites, yes, you would see narratives. 15 must visit historical places in India for a rendezvous with history. India is a home to the finest architectural heritage, from seventh wonder of the world. Look at the narrative. Wow, very beautiful. When you're reading the narrative, as if you have money, next week you're going to book and fly to India to visit all those places. It's so, so attractive, so palatable. I don't know how to explain that. But unfortunately, now it's no longer possible. So we were so happy before the COVID. Now there are so many restrictions with the COVID. And let me share some statistics with you. Tourism industry in India contributes around 10%. I'm sure you know better than me, and inclusive of the GDP. And it is estimated that 20% of tourist trips worldwide they travel to India. I said that earlier anyway. Culture, heritage, and historical activity. And also, India has 38 UNESCO World Heritage sites, as rich as that. Wow. Seven are natural sites, one from mixed criteria site, making India the sixth largest number of sites in the world. So student, how rich you are, you realize that? You look at this. This is the list. You have got 38, 39, something like that. And I'm looking for Gwalior. Do we have something in Gwalior? Orissa, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Bihar, Delhi. Oh my God, why don't we have Gwalior? We should have had Gwalior. I can't see Gwalior. Probably we should have. No, hill forts of Rajasthan. I don't know. I'm not seeing Gwalior. I so wanted to see Gwalior. I hope that it should happen in the future. Anyway, you're very rich in terms of UNESCO World Heritage Site. So these are the things. Now just imagine what has happened to these places with COVID. It's all closed. And when it's closed, it's not only closed. You have to think that, for example, a museum, how many people are employed in a museum? How many people lost their job? So there are so many implications. So before COVID-19, travel and tourism was a booming business. Ongoing miles, people were traveling from here and there, especially in India, from Delhi to Bombay. They are having conference from Hyderabad to I don't know what other places. Yeah, probably they are going to go out. Probably they are going to other places. They are traveling, domestic travels going on, ongoing. Increasing number of leisure travelers also. People were traveling also for leisure from one place to the other, international, domestic. Tourism operators capitalizing on resources. So they were capitalizing too much a bit sometimes. They were over tourism as well, exploitation of resources, commercialization of culture. Not only in India, in any other place of the world, when you're going to come to go too much to visit a place, there is over visitation, there will be over tourism. Now, after COVID-19, it's like a paradigm shift driven by survival, revival, renewal strategies. So what is happening now? We are trying to look out for strategies. We want to know what we can do to survive, to revive, because we want to survive our business. We don't want to lose our business. And so many people have lost their job. My brother has lost his job. He was working in the hotel and he was having a managerial position, but they told him that he should not come now, probably after the COVID. So we have understood that he will not be able to join the job again. So this is only about my brother. I'm sure that there are so many other people who have lost their job. And my brother is my brother. He's not married. He doesn't have any commitment. Just imagine those people who are having kids, who are having commitment, who are having responsibilities of their parents. So really, I pray that they get a job very soon. After COVID-19, competition or collaboration? So this is a question. Are we able to compete or should we collaborate? So we should collaborate, of course, because we are not able, what compete against whom now? We are all just surviving, trying to see how to get business out of that COVID thing. So collaboration is really very important. Finally, it's a question that COVID-19, is it a blessing or a blight? It might be a blessing, it might be a blight, but for me personally, it's just like, it's a curse. It's a curse because uh, it's not only about business, it's also about so many other things. People, students, they are not going to school, they have been deprived from their classes, and this is very true. I don't know how lazy you are, whether you're very happy to be at home for 1 month, 2 months, one semester, 2 semesters, 1 year. 2 year, but at a certain point in time, you want to go back to the school, you want to see your friends, you want to enjoy those days again, to go on vacation together, to go on tours, experiential tours. I'm sure that in tourism we have educational tour, we go together, we visit places, we collect data, we do research. So I'm sure if you're a genuine, real tourism student, you must be missing those things. Now, what are the pain points about the COVID-19 pandemics? I'm talking about it so that, just sharing, and it's still in the line of tourism management. It's important for you to know about the pain points so that you better understand what are the tourism management strategies that we need the people and the countries around the world should devise to be able to survive the pandemic. So the WTTC estimates 75 million travel tourism jobs at risk. It's not at risk now. This is something old. I'm sure that it's already, people have lost their job already. World Tourism Organization reports that international tourism will go down by 20 or 30% during 2020. We are already 2021, and I'm sure that it has already happened. Probably it's higher than that. Around 96% of all worldwide destinations have introduced travel restriction. Very true, but thank God now it's easing up a bit, and we have travel restrictions still. And you know what are the conditions now if you want to travel. Vaccination is very important. Talking about vaccination, let me tell you one thing as well. I'm very disappointed about the thing which is happening. Vaccination, we know about Sinopharm, we know about Covaxin, we know about AstraZeneca, we know about Johnson and Johnson, we know about Covishield. Now there are some other restrictions. They are saying that if you have a list of vaccination they have given, if you have done this vaccine, you're not allowed to enter Europe, France. So I was so disappointed, which means that on restriction, you have more restriction. Many people, certainly, they are having the vaccine. Now we have another question. What vaccine you're going to choose to do? What vaccine is acceptable around the world? Because if you're a professional, you're used to travel, so you cannot do three types of vaccine. For example, if someone is doing Sinopharm, not because of Europe is saying that you have to do Johnson and Johnson, you will have to do Sinopharm plus Johnson and Johnson. It's not possible. So I think that this is also another issue, and I hope that the World Health Organization will come up with something standardized and something regularized, well regulated, well explained, well defined, so that people don't make any mistake. I'm not saying that people are making mistake. Whatever vaccine is available, I'm doing it. For example, in India, can you say that, I don't want to do AstraZeneca or Covaxin, I don't know which vaccine you have, I want to do Johnson and Johnson. But how can you do Johnson and Johnson if your government and your country is not importing Johnson and Johnson? Your government is offering this type of vaccine. So I think that the World Health Organization should try to understand this and try to accept all those vaccination, not just put some kind of condition that this vaccine is not accepted, that vaccine is accepted. It becomes a problem. And also, we are going back to the pain points. Yeah, 27%, 56 destinations have suspended all or partially international flights into the destination. And I'm sure that is more than that, I'm telling you. It's not only 56. Now the gain points. What are the advantages of COVID-19 pandemic? So they say it's true, quite true. COVID-19 has given a breathing space to tourism resources. And let me tell you one thing. One of my friends, he's a diver. He told me that the dolphins are coming back again. And I'm very happy, but I don't know what will happen later. And COVID-19 has given a breathing space to tourism resources in Africa. I don't know, around Africa, India, and other places as well. Destinations which recently suffered from over-tourism are now restored. Do you know Venice? Venice is found in Italy. And Venice is a place where we had lots of people visiting that place. It's over tourism there. And now they say that the sea is now blue again and they can see fish swimming. Yes, very true. When I was in Venice, I could not even see the bottom of the sea. The water was a different color. And there was lots of boats and lots of boats there, and it was over tourism. And in India, I have heard that Ganga River is cleaner now. In Africa, places like Table Mountain in Cape Town, Masai Mara in Kenya are now having breathing space. Elephants, lions, gorillas, and zoo are also having a break from public and over visitation. So the animals in the zoo, they are enjoying, not the people. The COVID crisis has also promoted creativity. So there are so many businesses now, they are using, virtual. For example, just now we are using Zoom. So this is creativity. Earlier, we were not using Zoom. We were not using Google Meet. We would have gone into the class and just have our class, or probably I would have come to Gwalior, traveled all the way to Gwalior to see you. And, it was like this. Now, businesses, they have realized that they can use Zoom, and they're also saving on cost. Conferences are reorganizing for virtual session. I just said it. Arts and cultural events are also turning to live stream. We have got museums in France. They are opening, and opening in the sense that opening to the public online, and now they're opening anyway little by little. So there are so many things they have provided for free, and this was like the gain points. These were the gain points. Now, tourism management strategies. We already talked about the tourism management strategies too. And when we talk about tourism management post-COVID, post-pandemic context, it's a bit different. We need to have incentives from government, and which is already being done in your country. Could you hear me now? Oh my God, I'm
Yes,
muted.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Yes, ma'am, you're
You're
audible.
audible.
Okay, because I just heard that, just saw that I was muted. So yeah, I was saying that incentive from government is really very important during that crisis period. And I'm sorry, yeah. So what happens? I think that India is an example. India is a very good example. And Mauritius also is an example. Uh, well, I don't know what to say, but probably they are a bit afraid. The Mauritian people, we are a bit afraid. But India, wow, India is brave. The government of India, I really appreciate what they are doing. They are doing many things. They are supporting, and so many things are happening. They are taking precaution as well. So I think that I have been in touch with some of the people working in the tourism sector. I can see that they are trying to devise new tourism policies to support tourism entrepreneurs, airlines, and other businesses. But talking about tourism entrepreneurs, there is something I'm very proud about regarding Mauritius. In Mauritius, let me tell you what happened during the COVID-19 pandemic. During, you're still on it anyway, last year, all the people who are working in the hotel sector, hoteliers, they were given their basic salary for almost 1 year, because this was the support from the government. But then they say that after 1 year, like for example, as from this month or last month, they have stopped receiving that support. Now, by that time, they are supposed to be able to find other ways to be able to get money, to get revenue, to be able to pay their staff. They're not going to pay commission or whatever, but it's just the basic salary. And people were receiving their basic salary. All of them, they had to register. They were receiving, for example, like 60% of their salary, 70% of their salary, but not 100%. But at least it was something out of nothing, which means that it was a very good incentive. For this, I can say that I'm very, very proud of the Mauritian government. I can understand that in India it was not possible, because India has got lots of people, and it's really very difficult. The problem was not on these type of things. The problem was how to take care of those people on the road, how to take care of people who needed, help, support. These were more important, and how to stop the pandemic, because it was spreading too much. So I understand. Re-education support to organization like, for example, your organization, NEET Team, NIMSME, and so many other places. I think it's very important. Re-education of tourism is required. So when the tourists will start coming, it's important anyway. People, the tourists, when they are entering an country, they are not forced. It's a condition. They have to take care of their sanitizer, of their mask or whatever. But you have conditions now. So re-education is already there. You have to follow the guidelines of the UNWTO certification of International Tourism Organization to make products holistically sustainable. This is also very important. Destination has to set up tourism recovery committee. I think they have already started doing it. This was something around last year. And we have to forget competition and embrace collaboration. I already said that. Join hands with stakeholders, partners, even rivals. You have no other choice now, because objective is survival of the industry. You need to come up with new policies based on Safety and health protocol, it's very important. Banks should also collaborate, give some kind of loan, credit stimulus, development of new tourism product. I talk about the pandemic tourism now. Develop new travel itinerary. Anyway, it is happening. If you want to visit a place now, you can do it, but they will control the number of visitors. Like 1 or 2 people, they will go, they will visit, they will come out, and then other people will go. So they have already come up with some strategies. You have to develop product. I already said that are holistically sustainable. We need to come up with new business model. We need to be aware and sensitized for a responsible tourism. We need to have a trained and reskilled workforce. This is more important. We have the skill, but we have to be reskilled now based on the implications of the COVID-19 pandemic. And I would say that we have to rethink, reinvent, reorientate, and re-educate. This is really very important. Moving further, I hope that you're not bored. So post COVID-19, critical, what are the critical success factors? As usual, we always say we need to be visible. People will know you only when you're visible. If you're not visible online, people do not see. I want to visit something in India, culture, I will type culture. They will give me a list. Now, if like for example, my city or my tourism attractions, they are not on the list. So how will I know? So visibility is important. Marketability is also important. You should be able to market something which is marketable, marketing something which is marketable. People will be interested, not too expensive, very easy, accessible, all the facilities, these are important. And of course, profitability. Who's going to do business without thinking of profit? We are not like having such big heart. We are all very interested to do business, but we have to think about profit as well because we have got people working with us. Who's going to pay them? Sustainability, we have to be foresighted. Important, technology and security. So today's tourism business is about mostly driven by technology and security. You want to invite someone to your place, they want to know how secure is that place, whether you have sanitizer, what are the number of COVID patient, or what are the number of COVID people, or these are the things that people are looking at now. If they see that this country has got so many COVID people, they would not come. They would say, no, COVID spreading, we will not go, we will go to other place. So security is very important. I'm talking about security, safety, security, medical things. So we have got reflections here. COVID-19 is a radical wake-up call for humanity. And this pandemic has taught us a great lesson. The world is a global village and we all depend on each other. We cannot say that we will operate in isolation. But sometimes I think, I don't know whether I'm wrong, I think India can operate in isolation. You have got everything in your country. But I don't know, I am not that, that intelligent to know exactly what are the things are happening in terms of economic transaction. But sometimes I tend to believe that India is probably the only country, probably we have got other, China also can do that, they are very intelligent. India also can do that. You can operate in isolation, but it's not a good thing to operate in isolation, because if you operate in isolation, for example, for tourism, you need to focus on international tourists. So then you will have to depend on your domestic tourists. Indian will go from one place to the other. So it's important. We depend on each other. If we want to have more tourists, we have to depend on other countries as well. Tourism community worldwide should therefore forget competition for now and embrace collaboration. I think so many times I've said that. Information, precaution, medication. These are the three important factors that would drive tourism in the future. And as tourism professional, please don't forget that you're also a tourism professional. It is not necessary for you to have that big certificate to say, yes, now I am a tourism professional. If you're a tourism student, you are also contributing in tourism. So it's also your duty to always, market your country, talk good thing about tourism. Because if you're not going to do that, who will do that? Don't forget that you're following a tourism course. In the future, you're planning to work in the tourism sector. If you keep on talking bad about your sector, what will happen? People will say, oh my God, so you're talking so bad about tourism, then why are you following a course in tourism? So you should always praise your line of study. You should always praise your course. You should always come out and talk positively about your sector, your industry. So hundreds of thousands of lives will depend on it, on tourism. If we don't do it, who else will? So I'm talking about, talking good about our country, giving, not our country, our business, tourism business, our industry, and giving assurance to people of the world. Now, I'm sure that you are aware about my new book. It just came out, so I have to do justice to my book, students. I have to show you my book proudly. You see, Tourism Destination Management in a Post-Pandemic Context just came out. The launch was on Friday. It's published by Emerald. This is the book link. I hope that I would have a chance to give you not all the students, your library, a complimentary copy, but I have not received the copy yet. And you would see, let me show you a bit very quickly about the book. I have to do that also. I have to do justice to my book. Tourism Destination Post-Pandemic Global Issues and Destination Management Solution. I'm the main editor. I was assisted by 4 people, Hiran from Canada, Roberto from Italy, Shem from Africa. So we are the 4 book editors. I'm the main editor. The uniqueness of this book is that we are trying to offer, post-pandemic management strategies and solutions. And the book was dedicated to all doctors, people who have been struggling during the pandemic. And let me show you a bit more about the book. So this is a bit about the introduction. We are talking about guidelines, handbooks, best practices. We are talking about so many things. And let me tell you that this book has got 22 chapters written by 64 authors. And it covers almost all the continent of the world. We have case studies from so many places, from islands, from India, from Africa, from Europe, from America. It's a very enriching. I'm praising my own book, blowing my own trumpet. No, but it's a good book. It's really good. I really like the book because it's covering almost all the continent. So the benefit of this book, we hope that people will make use of that book because there are case studies, solutions to case studies, and so many adaptive management solutions. And as I told you, the case studies, what is the USP? We talked about USP earlier. So my USP for the book, I'm talking about my own book. The USP is that we have got case studies from, here you can see Italy, Egypt, Turkey, Kenya, Canada, Mauritius, India, Latvia, Vietnam, Argentina, Sardinia Island, Netherlands, California, Uganda, Nigeria, Indonesia, South Africa, and the UK. So you can have an idea about the richness of that book. And we have got theories in that book. I have written the theory part, and there is something which I want to share with you. Those who have done marketing, I'm sure you know about product, price, place, promotion, people, physical evidence, and process. So all the P's. But I have added another one, pandemic now. I say that yes, today if you want to market tourism, you have to include the pandemic as well, because you have to think in terms of the pandemic. Because you like it or not, we are still navigating within the turbulent water of the COVID-19 pandemic, and it will continue and continue, and now it's mutating. I don't know what mutation they're talking about, but the COVID-19 is too excited about itself as a disease, or as a, I don't know, as a virus. There is mutation. I don't know what is happening. So which means that the pandemic will be there for a very long period of time, or forever. So which means that after that lesson that we have got with the COVID-19, the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, I'm sure that marketeers or managers, tourism managers, they will always consider that P, that point, that very important point, the P, the pandemic. So that is why I say that this is a novelty, student. You will not find it in any textbook. This is coming from me. If you see someone writing that, you know that that person is a copycat. Because pandemic, I wrote that, I included that in the marketing mix. And it's clearly in the book. So the thematic areas of the book, we have got 6 parts. You have got destination management post-pandemic, disaster management. We have considered the local communities as well. We have considered marketing and promotion. We have considered sustainable development. We have also considered tourism education. I so wanted I could share that book with you for free. But unfortunately, when you are, let me share with you, when you are an editor, what is your work? Your work is to gather all the chapters, to review the chapters, to communicate to the authors and explain to them how to improve the chapters, because the chapters need to have a level. You cannot just put any type of chapter in a book and you say, yeah, this is my book. Because don't forget that we have got so many gatekeepers. We are the first gatekeeper. Gatekeeper means the one who are going to control the chapters, the quality of the chapters. The Emerald, they are the second gatekeepers. So we as editors, if you're going to just submit any type of chapters, they would love laugh at us. They would say, what kind of chapters is that? What kind of editors are these? So we had to be very careful. We carefully selected good chapters and we submitted. And then after submitting the chapters to Emerald, once it's submitted, we no longer have any role. We lose right of all these things, which means that I am not allowed to share the book with anyone in the public. They can sue me for that. I have signed a paper. This is, unfortunately, it's like this. Now, if people want to see the book, they have to buy the book. You understand my point? But we will be given complimentary book. If I have a compliment, more than 3-4 complimentary, I will try my best to send one to Rahul, to Prestige Institute of Management. Otherwise, you can buy the book. It's not that expensive, I think. And yeah, so the book conclusion, we came up with something. We said that just like Karl Marx said, tourism industry contains its own seeds of destruction. Quite true, because within the tourism industry, it's us, how we are going to manage it, how we are going to collaborate. You understand? Exposure, fragility, sensitivities of these tourism destinations make most tourism destinations more vulnerable. And there is a need to focus on adaptive management strategies. We already talked about it: policy interventions, adoption of destination management insight, continuous design, user-centered learning. So we also talk about the Janus-centered character of the sector, offering an opportunity to reinvent. You know what is Janus-centered character? The Janus characteristic, which means that, how can I explain that? Like from both sides, yeah, Jafar Jafari, he talks about tourism is a double-edged sword. From both sides is going to cut. So this is about Janus face character, which means that both faces, it's the same, it's revealing the same story, which means that from one face you will get the good part and the bad part, from the other face you can get the good part and the bad part as well. So which means that the just like I said, the pain point and the gain point are together in the tourism industry. We have both of them. So destination marketers, we now need to rethink destination management solution based on a new normal. No, I'm not going to say new normal now. I want to forget about the new normal. It's now the next normal, because we have already been in the new normal, and the new normal, it's about wearing mask, sanitizer, gloves, vaccination. Now the next normal, it's about after having all this, what next? So that is why I call that the next normal. So we are still on the book conclusion. We say that there's a need for government to support. We know about it. We talked about it. Stakeholders involvement. And we also talked about inspiring tourism managers to reinvent their tourism businesses. And yes, as indicated in the old adage, we would say that every cloud comes with a silver lining. I said that during my launch anyway. It is believed that tourism businesses will be back more refreshed and renewed than ever. I just hope so. So this was the last part of the book. Travel may never be the same again, but the new normal will probably inspire. When I wrote that, it was last year. So it was still the new normal. Otherwise, if I'm going to write it now, I would have said the next normal. Will probably inspire destination managers to rethink the future of tourism based on 3 important elements: precaution, medication, and education. So hopefully destination management solution proposed in my book will stimulate interest. These are the things that I have written in the book, of course. And I say, this is coming from me: wear your mask, wear your gloves, travel the globe. So that's a bit about my book. And I think this is the end. I hope that I have not been boring. I have been, I hope that I have been able to be clear, and you have been able to understand what I wanted to convey in terms of message. And thank you so much for your attention. Unfortunately, it was such a silent audience, unlike when we are being in classroom. Thank you, and I'm going to just leave the space to Rahul, Mahika.
They are not
Rahul.
silent. They are posting multiple questions throughout this. Yeah. That was a really fantastic session, adding 8th P, which is pandemic, to the marketing 7 Ps and all. And then genesis of new normal. We have learned,
Yeah.
we have really, this was something new for me even.
Mhm.
Dipanshu is one of our very curious student. He's asking about will taking your pets to the international trips will be a lengthy process, as now we have studied which says diseases could be transmitted directly from the animals or will not be allowed at all. What is your take on this?
What is the question? I couldn't
Uh,
get it.
will taking your pets to international trips,
Yeah.
yeah, will it be a lengthy process, as now we have multiple studies which says that diseases now could be transmitted directly from animals to human.
From animals. So animals will not be traveling, only human being will be traveling, I guess. So how come animals will
His
spread the
question is
disease?
about traveling with animal along with their animals, along with their
Oh
pets.
my God,
Correct.
I'm not an expert in that because I have never traveled with animals, but I think that you know because we need to first try to start from the start, because you know we have been silent for most 1 or 2 years. We're going on to 2 years now, so we have to start. We have to do the baby step. So the baby step would be, we are all hesitating, you know, to have people in our country, especially India. My God, let me tell you one thing. India has been blacklisted. Even in my country, they don't want Air India or you know, flights coming from India, which means that I think that the pet thing will come a bit later. First, the most important thing is that they would try to think how to regulate the thing concerning when a person is traveling, what are the conditions, and then probably now under special conditions, probably there is a possibility for pet domestic tourism. Probably yes. International tourism, I'm not so sure about it. I don't know. You know, I have never traveled with a pet, and I have not studied this line about traveling with pet. But
Yeah.
I think that we should take our precaution.
Hmm. Probably the
Just give
first
me
chance. Yeah.
just give me a second. Just give me a
Yeah.
second. I'm sorry, yeah.
Yes.
Allô? Je suis en train de faire une classe là. Bye. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was having an
It's okay. It's
important
okay.
call. Yeah.
Maybe the first chance will be given to the human to travel first. Right.
Yeah, yeah. No, but you know, you try to find out in India, because I know that in India, domestic tourism is possible. And let me tell you one thing, student, I should share this with you. I like sharing things. For me, you know, it's enriching to share things. During the COVID-19 pandemic, it started in December
Mhm.
2019. In January, I was
Mhm.
traveling from India to South Africa, from South Africa to Nigeria.
Mhm.
And the pandemic was already declared, but I was traveling and I have been to hot places. But let me
Mhm.
tell you something, I always say that till now, touch wood, I have never been positive. I have always been negative. You know, you have to be very careful. You can travel,
Yeah.
but one thing they taught me, try to have your hot water always with you. Keep drinking hot water every like 15
Correct.
minutes, 20 minutes. You will be able to travel. I traveled like anything during the pandemic. Nigeria, Dubai,
Mhm.
South Africa, India, Mauritius. In India, I was in Delhi. I was in
Mhm.
Hyderabad. I was in
Mhm.
Ahmedabad. And all those
Mhm.
places were very hot. And they started domestic, I think, somewhere around June. Yeah,
Yes.
May, June, something like that. I was there.
Mhm.
So don't worry, you should start traveling, but you have to take your precaution. We have to protect our industry.
Next question is from one of our students from BTM fourth semester, Lokendra. We want to
Yeah.
know about what aspects makes tourism a success in the application of sustainability.
Well, when we talk about sustainability, I talked about the Sustainable Development Goal. In the context of sustainability, probably, Lokenra, you want to say that what aspects will make the tourism business go for a long period of time. I think attractiveness is very important. Safety and security is really very important these days, and you need to give assurance to your travelers now. I'm talking about the post-pandemic context, of course. Now, if you think about future tourism businesses, the first thing that you should be able to do is to give assurance to your travelers that when they are coming to your destination, you're able to offer them a COVID-free accommodation. COVID-free. The 4As have to be COVID-free 4As. All the
Yes.
facilities. So this is the very first thing. Unfortunately, it's like this is pandemic tourism idea.
Correct.
Pandemic tourism.
Pandemic tourism. Correct.
Yes.
There is another question from one of our students, again, Dipanshu. Will the gastronomy tourism will have to face, will have to suffer as a people will consider eating from eating at hygienic places. They probably will not be able to consider street foods or street giants or eating giants or these ways. So, what is your opinion on that?
My opinion on that is very clear. I think that, for example, I like to protect the street people. Street food is very important. It's a tourism attraction. So if you want to operate as a street vendor, it's very important first to get vaccinated. Second, to have your certificate like on your place where you're selling. Show people that if you have a certificate from the Ministry of Health. I don't know in India what it is. In Mauritius, it's Ministry of Health, to show that you have gone through the quality process and they have allowed you to sell. And of course, you have to wear your gloves and you have to wear your mask. But still, you have that percentage of fear. A little fear is there, and I think that you have to consume things which are really very hot. Because they say that the coronavirus is afraid of hot water, hot food. So this is something which is really very important. Gastronomy people, they are very hesitant for now, but little by little, I'm sure that they will get into the stream of that corona thing, and they will forget. I'm not saying that they will forget about it, but they will develop their coping capacity. When I was talking my very first webinar in January 2020, when there was the outbreak was there, the very first thing I said, if someone can remember, people will have to learn to live with the COVID-19 pandemic, and they will have to develop their coping capacity. So develop your coping capacity and try to just follow the norm so that people don't have a chance to say, why are you selling? Do you have a certificate? Are you vaccinated? You say, yes, 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 I've been vaccinated. So he will not have a chance to say something against you. You have your certificate? Yes, I have a certificate. So he will not. In case if your family members, they have a business, so I'm sure that they can follow these guidelines and they will be able to continue their tourism business.
That's really insightful.
Yeah.
There is another question for you. How Airbnb type of living options like how they are effective, staying while traveling with respect to the hotels which are easily available, lesser prices even, with overhead expenses, with a lots of expenses. What should we prefer more, Airbnb or hotel type of accommodation?
I think that when we talk about accommodation, we should not discriminate. I think accommodation is accommodation. Whether it is a B&B, whether it is a big hotel, which is a small hotel, we have to think from a general perspective. All the people, they are working, and all the people, they want to have money. They want to revive and survive the business. So which means that any type of accommodation, they have to follow the norms again. They should be able to sell. It's also not a good idea that if you are a big accommodation sector, you're a big hotel, because you have money, because you are able to afford, you are going to look upon those small B&B to say, please come to my hotel, it's secure, don't go to B&B, they are not secure. It's a very bad thing. We have to collaborate. We should not compete, we have to collaborate. It's very important. No competition, rather collaboration. But we have to, again, whatever question will come, I will always say the same thing. You have to ensure that there is a precaution, there is education, and there is medication, which means that if you have to get vaccinated, you get all your staff vaccinated. You have to sanitize all your place. You have to give assurance to the people who are going to stay in your hotel that this place is COVID-free, it has been sanitized, it is safe. Then people will come.
Yes, I'm with you on this. Accommodation is accommodation. There is no difference in those. And that's true. Depending on their budget, people will prefer hotel or Airbnb. How much budget I have will help me in making a decision.
So we have to protect all of them. We cannot just say go to big hotel because they have money, because it's more beautiful, it's cleaner, it's this and that. Well, as tourism professional, it's like, a mother. My mother always said to me that a mother has got, like, for example, 5 children. The mother will never discriminate. So here, like, the tourism industry is the mother. The accommodation sector, you have got the 5-star, 7-star, small B&B. So we should not. What is our point? Our point is we have to come back to business. We have to collaborate. We have to help each other. In fact, I would say if I were a big hotel, if I see that I have 10 customers, I would have seen how I can probably send two customers to another small hotel just to give business, to be able to pay for the, they can pay their staff. They can. So I don't forget that you have to go a bit far. When you're talking about a small hotel, it's not only a small hotel, it's the livelihood of so many people. People are working there. They are depending on that money to be able to get that money and buy milk, buy food for their kids, or, you have to go a bit deeper. As a researcher, you will go very deep and you will find out that it's important to protect and to collaborate all the businesses. This is my point, but obviously some people might have some other point as well. I appreciate that. And well, it's just my personal
This is a
opinion.
really good one. Like, we'll have to be with you. We have no other choice in that way.
Yes.
Yeah. One and the very last question, though we have multiple questions, I have multiple questions in my personal window, but one and the last question for you. Most of the participants who are attending today's webinar, most of the participants are students. However, we have a few very senior professors too in this session. But looking at the balancing part of the session, students are curious to know what are the skills, what are the things which they should learn for making their future, for making their career to be established one or to be a sustained one. What do you think? What is your comment? Like, do you recommend some set of short courses, MOOCs, or what set of skills you are thinking?
Yeah, skills. Yeah, we need to have sets. For example, when you start something, you have to complete it. Never do something you do. For example, you started your BSc honors tourism and hospitality management. You're going to do one first year, then second year, then you have heard about something. Oh, let me stop. Let me go and do something else. Then you start doing another thing. Then you stop, and whatever. You should never do that. First, whatever you're doing, please complete it. After completing whatever you have done, you're doing or whatever, what you should do is that you should try to always engage yourself. There is something called lifelong learning. Never just sit back and relax. Always do something.
Yes.
Skills. If you're talking about the tourism industry, it's always very important to be multi-skilled. For example, it's always good to, for example, these days, I'm talking about these days, about 21st century, about the COVID-19, whatever, it's important to be able to master your own website. Technology is very important. Software engineering is something which you can learn. Well, software engineering is a big something. I'm not talking about the whole course, probably some information about how to do your own website, how to design your own website, how to go online, how to promote your own product is very important. Languages are very important. If you're in the tourism industry, a third language is very important. It's important to also learn other things, be multi-skilled, so that you're able to manage your stuff. When we're talking about tourism, there are so many branches of tourism. Let's say you are not able to work in the hotel. You can do something else. You can be a tour operator. You can be a travel guide. So it's always good to approach, but also realistically speaking, I can also understand that students, they don't have much time. Some students, they might be having responsibilities. If they're a full-time student, then probably you have got some other things to do. I feel that as a full-time student, if you're not really got into a job or whatever, make use of this time and try to learn other short courses, in parallel, the very easy one, which is not going to take too much of your time, too much of your energy, too much of examination. It's always good on your CV to have short courses on design, short courses on a third language, short courses. It looks nice because this shows your interest and that you're multi-skilled. It's always good to be multi-skilled. Just like we talk about diversification of product, you should also diversify yourself. You understand?
This one is really senseful, meaning a lot of sense, a lot of meaning to all most of the participants. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
With these many questions, with these many ice-breaking responses to those questions, and I'm very much thankful to you for accepting our invitation, even on a last-minute note. Thank you very much. But let they do it very formally. I over this to Mahika.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, to share your distinct vision and a fountainhead of illuminating ideas with us. Also, we are extremely keen and just can't wait to read your book really very soon. I would like to call upon Assistant Professor Simran Rohira ma'am to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mahika. Once again, a very good afternoon to one and all. I, Simran Roira, Assistant Professor, Department of Management, Prestige Institute of Management, Gwalior, take the opportunity to put all my gratitude into words. At first, I would like to thank our resource person, Dr. Vanessa, who honored this webinar with her presence. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out time and adding value to our knowledge. I'm happy to express my thanks to Dr. Rahul Pratap Singh Gaurav, Program Chair, BTM course at PIMG, for his continuous support and kind cooperation in organizing this webinar. My special thanks to all my student coordinators who have left no stone unturned in making this webinar a success. Finally, the wonderful gathering. A sincere thanks to all of you for your patience listening and active participation. Thank you, one and all. With this, I wish everyone a happy learning and good health. But before I wind up and we wind up this session, I would request all the participants to please keep their videos on so that possibly I can take a screenshot of it.
This is the new trend of group photographs.
You see technology, and you imagine if you don't have knowledge about it, how you're going to do that.
Yeah.
how to, yeah, this is very important now. Technology, my God.
If few more people can open their cameras, this will help us. And you'll
Vishesh,
be on our social media platforms.
I can see Vishesh, I can see Deepak, I can see Tanvir, I can see Arun, Sahil, my God, Minalini, Dipanshu, yeah, Dipanshu had a question.
Yes.
Vibhav, Mahim, I should try to, have a rehearsal of the names because very soon I will have these type of names. Manish, Kunal, Tomar, wow, it's a long list now. Deepti, Shasti, Chuditra. Oh my God, I'm not able to say. Wow.
Probably next time when you'll visit Gwalior, we'll introduce all of them one by one.
Definitely, I am so much looking forward to travel. My God, I can't leave. But anyway, I have traveled during the pandemic. Probably I'm one of those rare person who have been traveling so many times.
Even
during
I'm
the
also
pandemic.
missing this.
I've been traveling so many times. I came to India.
I was just discussing this thing in one of my class. Like before to this pandemic, every month I used to take at least 2 trains and at least 1 flight. This was the minimum score. Since March 7th March 2020 was my last train which I boarded.
Is it? Oh yeah, it was. But anyway, you don't have train in India.
Yeah. Nowadays they have started opening it.
But if you wanted to travel, Rahul, you could have come to you could have gone to Dubai. I think they had repatriation flight, but then you need to have a valid reason to travel to those places. Yes. Otherwise, they would say, "Why are you traveling there to there?"
Not able to find a valid reason. That is why I'm stuck here.
Yeah. I find my way out, thank God, because I was traveling from my workplace to my country, and it was easier for me. For me, it's easy. Africa, Mauritius, Nigeria, India, fine. I'm fine.
It's really very wonderful session, Vanessa, to hear you. And very soon we'll plan your travel to Gwalior also.
Oh my God. Looking forward.
Okay. Dear participants, we are sharing the feedback link in the chat box. I would request everyone to kindly share your feedback regarding the webinar on the given link. Your certificates would be made on the basis of the feedback form itself. So I request everyone to kindly give their feedback on the link mentioned in the chat box. Over to you, Mahika.
Certainly, travel is more than seeing of sights. It is a change that goes on, deep and permanent, in the ideas of living. With this, we have come to an end to this webinar. Last but not the least, before summing up the session, I would want to show my heartiest gratitude towards the wonderful listeners, a spectacular audience. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us, ma'am.
Thank you, Mahika. You're doing well. Mahika is doing well as an MC. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
I think Mahika is a student, right? Mahika is a student.
Yes, Mahika is a student. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's doing really well. It's very good.
She's a second-year student.
Wow, very good, Mahika. I'm impressed. Very good. Keep it up.
Thank you so much.
My blessing to you and to all the students. And I hope that one day when I will become very, very old, somewhere you would say to me, "Ma'am, you remember I was looking at your webinar?" And I would say, I don't know. Then you would remind me of that. I'm sure. I hope that you will reach very high position in the tourism industry, and you will be the one sustaining the future of our industry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.